So it looks like our ad break should be done here. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at a couple things here. So in your Battle Pass this month, at milestone number 16, down in the paid process, the Elite track, they gave you 1,200 of these Elite Federation, Romulan, and Klingon recruit tokens. Now it's 500 per pack, so you can open 2 packs and you've got a little left over. We covered in my other video just how terrible the conversion rates on these pieces of crap are. Just for re-edification, looking here in my faction store, these are driven by ops level, not by faction level. So here at ops 46, I can get 230 of these. It takes 500 to open a pack, so 230 isn't even doing it at 23.75. $230 divided by 23.75 times 500. That's not right. I did that backwards. 23.75 divided by 230. Yeah, it's about 10.3 per credit times 500. So 5,100 faction credits, 5,163 would be the exact cost. Now, since you can't buy them in uneven numbers, you'll have to spend more than that and get extras for the next one. So the second one will cost you less, and you'll have a surplus rolling over to future ones. But 5,163 per elite pack at Ops 46. Now, as you can see, I'm at 3 different faction levels here, and it does not matter. They are the same cost. 23, 23, 23. Looking over on my Ops level 33 account for a second, if we go to my faction store, again, different Ops levels, different faction ratings. Can't see what the costs of these are, but you can see I'm getting 115 of Federation. Here we are Klingon, almost to that 10 million lock. 115 for 1,600. And Romulan, which I did lock the other day on this account at 10 million. Same, 115 per 1,600. So as a lower level player who would actually benefit from opening these packs more, the conversion rate on them is a lot worse. 1,600 divided by 13.91. You need 500 to get a pack. It's costing me nearly 7,000 faction credits at this ops level to get one of these elite packs. 7,000 faction credits. That's almost enough blueprints to like build a ship. Actually, let's take a look at that, because now that I'm curious, like, what's a legionary cost? $1,250 times 8 is what, 10,000? Yeah, so I can get a legionary for 10,000 faction credits, or I can spend 7,000 faction credits and get one pack. Just to put it in relative perspective. Now you might be asking yourself, well, what's in these packs that they're so expensive? And I'm glad you asked that question, because it's a good question. These packs are so expensive, they must have really awesome stuff in them, don't they? Let's take a look at our Klingon recruit pack right here. Wow, look at all these officers. Honor Guard Worf, Krass, these guys aren't guys you normally get in packs. Bael, Gowron, Martok, Curon, awesome. People you really haven't had too much of an opportunity to source regularly. Except they put them in the regular frickin' pack. Again, this is, the regular Klingon pack with Gorkon, Chang, Kurla, Az, and some of these other clowns here are also in the same pack. So the officers that you already have and you've already maxed out are now in here diluting and watering down your officer pool, making it harder to get the new officers. If this pack was just the new officers, it would be a little bit more justifiable for the cost. You're getting harder to get officers, but you're guaranteed to get them because they're the only ones in this pack. Also, how many shards are you getting? Oh, you're only getting 8. And guess what? 50% of them are going to be uncommon. Half of your 8 shards are going to be uncommon officers. So you're spending 5,000 faction credits to get a pack where 4 of your 8 officer shards. So what's that? 600 faction credits per officer shard is essentially what you're paying. Because I'm, just over 5,000, right? So you're paying 600 faction credits per officer shard, and half of them are going to be uncommon. I said it before, I titled the video, these packs are garbage. But, just to demonstrate this point sooner, in a little more of a visual aid, they gave us 1,200 in the Battle Pass. Let's open one, and let's see what we get. Oh, I got a bunch of morales that I've already sourced. And there's a Chang that I've already sourced. That's it. That's what I got. I got one Chang, which converted into transporter patterns. Actually, it looks like 2 Changs that converted into transporter patterns. And I got a bunch of morales. That's what I would have just spent 5,000 faction credits on. Absolutely freaking horrible. Olympus does bring up a good point that several of these officers are also available through the transporter patterns. Gorkon, Kang, Krass are available through transporter patterns. Looking over at the other pack, the Romulan pack here, Nero, Charvanik, Sela, all available through transporter patterns. Interesting to see Bator here, I guess because she's a Romulan collaborator. They stuck her over here, maybe to fluff this pack up a little bit. And the Federation pack has Marcus, TOS Kirk, and Spock, and Pike, who are also all available through transporter patterns now. So, mathematically speaking, you're way better off buying this pack for, 50 to 60 faction credits, realistically, is what you can get one of these packs for. Getting these guys maxed, getting the transporter patterns, and then buying the shards directly. Because as we've just seen, these things cost 500 to 600 faction credits per shard, and most of what you're getting is uncommon garbage. Shall I continue? Let's see what else we get. Hey, more transporter patterns. This is at least one that I have fewer people of. I won't skip this one this time. 1 Severus, converting to Officer XP. 1 Mirek, converting. 2 Bator. There must have been other officers that converted as well that they didn't show in the graphic. Because otherwise I just got shorted a bunch of officer shards. Which wouldn't be surprising, but... here we go. Arcady getting converted to Officer XP. Frank Leslie, hey! Now this is the only pack where you're actually happy to get some of the commons, or uncommons, because normally these guys, Hendorf and Leslie, are only available in a $20 pack that you have to buy with the other Shakedown crew members. Shakedown crew being Pike, Moreau, and then Leslie, Hendorf, Darwin, and somebody else who are commons. That have no direct sourcing in the game. The only way to get them until this pack was released was to buy that bundle for $20 in the faction store, which vast majority of people did not purchase. And just for completion's sake, hey, there's 2 Sulu. There's a Hendorf. There's a Scotty getting converted to Officer XP. There's a Yuki getting converted. There's a Chekhov. So we got 2, 3, 4. Rares are worth 75 apiece. So 6, 7. And then Scotty's getting converted to Officer XP. At 5,000. Okay. That was it. That's the equivalent of 30,000 faction credits that I would have just spent right there. So there's my soapbox. There's my rant. These things are still terrible, and everybody should continue to just ignore them. Even when they give them to you for free, you're probably better off ignoring them because eventually maybe they'll fix them. Maybe they'll take some of the older officers out of the pack. Maybe they'll just lower the cost of them. They'll probably end up lowering the cost of them because they'll probably still want to keep the same uh, distribution schedule and keep watering the pack down rather than take people out. They'll probably just lower the cost. But if they, just in case they don't save them, maybe they will take some of the other officers out of the packs, giving you a little more bang for your buck. So your free packs that you would have gotten today will be worth a little more somewhere down the road in the future. There's my 2 cents. Even more anticlimactic than you were expecting, and your expectations were low. Yeah, that's about as best as I can sum it up. You went into it with very low expectations, not expecting much, and it didn't even live up to that. It disappointed across the board.